Hey guys, my name is Casey. As you know, this is my first YouTube video. I am so excited for this YouTube journey. I've been wanting to do this for so long now, literally, but I don't know what's been holding me back. But I'm so excited that I'm actually starting now, and I can't wait to share all the ideas that I have for you guys. It's literally everything: entrepreneurship videos, hair tutorials, my lifestyle, fashion, vlogs, literally everything. So make sure you like, comment, subscribe, because I have a lot of stuff in store for you guys. So for today's video, we're going to do a how to bleach a frontal wig, and this method can be used for a closure wig as well, or if you just have the lace itself. I'm not going to do too much talking, so let's get into this video. Okay, so first off, these are the supplies that you're going to need. You're going to need a mixing bowl, and you can get this from your local beauty supply store. You're going to need blue shampoo, which is going to cancel out the orange, and I like to get mine from Matrix. You're also going to need a purple shampoo, which is going to cancel out the yellow, and I also like to get that from Matrix as well, but you can probably find the purple shampoo for sure in your local beauty supply store. So you're going to need some developer. I use 40 volume developer. You can get that from your local beauty supply store, and you're going to need bleach. I use BW2 to bleach my knots, but there's multiple other bleaches that you can use. This is my preference on what I like to use. And lastly, you are going to need a plastic knife. This is what I use to apply the bleach. You can also use like one of those wax sticks, but this is just my preference. So we're going to start off by taking the bleach. When you open the bleach, it has a little baggie with it, and it has this little blue cup scoop thingy. You want to take, depending on what you're bleaching, you might need more, you might need less. I'm bleaching a frontal, so I'm probably going to take about 2 scoops, or 1.5, and you can add more as needed. So now I'm going to take the developer, and this is the most important thing because you don't want to over pour for the developer. You can always add more, but you can't take anything out. So pour a little bit at a time and then start mixing it. Once you mix it and see that it's way too thick, then you pour a little bit more and keep pouring and pouring as you go until it gets to the right consistency that it should be. But definitely start off small and then add more as you go. So as you can see here, the consistency was way too thick. So I'm just adding a little bit more of the developer. And even after mixing that second time, you can still see that the consistency might be too thick. So you can add more, but just make sure to do a little bit at a time. And I would recommend using gloves with this because when bleach and developer gets on your hands mixed together, it does end up burning. Even developer by itself, it does end up burning, but I would definitely recommend using gloves. So you want your consistency to be a toothpaste consistency. You don't want it too thick or too runny. If it's too runny, then it'll just run right through the knots and it will not bleach the knots. If it's too thick, it won't bleach the knots properly. So you want to make sure you turn it upside down. When you turn it upside down, if it's not falling or anything, that means you have the right consistency, but it should be a smooth toothpaste consistency. So this is the wig that I'm going to be bleaching the knots for. It is a frontal lace wig. Another key thing I want to say, the size of the knots matters. If the knots are extremely big, it is going to take way longer to bleach the knots, and sometimes the knots might not even bleach all the way. So before getting a wig or bleaching a client's wig, you definitely want to stress that the knot should be small, and that'll just make your life a little bit easier. So now I'm just using a hot comb to pull all the baby hairs back. This is important because when bleaching the knots, sometimes the baby hairs can get in the way, and you don't want that to, because you don't want to bleach those baby hairs. You just want to bleach the knots. So I'm just pulling the hair back so I'm not bleaching the baby hairs. So this is how the inside of your wig should look after you pull all the hair back. So now you want to put the wig inside out on the mannequin head, and I'm just going to use some T-pins to start pinning the wig down so it doesn't move. So now you're going to take your bleach, and if it's been sitting there for a little while, I'll usually just mix it together a little bit just to get that flow going back. And I'm just going to start applying it to the lace. So you want to be careful when applying it to the lace. I always apply from the back towards the front. And you kind of want to apply it like it's butter or peanut butter or something in that area. You don't want to be too heavy, but you don't want to be too light either. You want to make sure that you're putting it on with enough force so that the knots are going to bleach properly, but you want to make sure you're not too heavy-handed with it either, because it can seep through the knots and get on the hair and start bleaching the roots of the hair, and you don't want that. So you're going to just spread it like it's butter or peanut butter, and just being very medium with it, not too light but not too heavy either. And you also want to make sure it covers the hairline. The hairline is the most important thing because that is what is really showing. So you're just going to take from the back to the front and just wipe. And I'm going to do this all around the frontal, making sure every part of the lace is covered so that everything is bleached. So now I'm just taking the T-pins off the wig because while it's processing, I want to turn the wig back to the right way, so I can make sure none of the bleach went to the hair. So now what I'm doing is just pulling the hair from the bleach. So you want to pull the hair from the bleach all around to make sure when it starts processing that it's not going to process on the hairline. Now that the wig is on the right side, I'm going back in and just applying it to areas that I feel like that needs more bleach, mainly towards the hairline. I'm not using a lot. I'm being very light with it and just applying it to the hairline where I feel like I missed some spots at. So I usually leave this sitting for about 10 minutes. It honestly depends on the knots and how fast it wants to bleach, but I would say after 5 minutes, go and check on it and see how it's bleaching, because you want to make sure you don't over bleach it. So I believe I left this for about 10 minutes, and as you can see, the knots are perfectly bleached. You want to look at the roots to make sure all the knots are bleached, and you can tell that the knots are bleached. So now I'm going to go ahead and rinse this out. So now I'm going to mix both the purple and blue shampoo. I like to mix them together because it cancels out both the orange and the yellow, so you can get that perfect even tone of the knots. And a little bit goes a long way. I put a little bit too much, but definitely you only need 1 drop because it definitely suds up, and you only need it for the lace, not the rest of the hair. And you're just going to scrub that in, and I'm going to let this sit for about 10 to 15 minutes and I'll come back. So this is how it looks after sitting for about 10 to 15 minutes, and as you can see, the knots have definitely toned. It does not look as brassy anymore. So I'm just going to go ahead and rinse this off and wash the wig completely, and I'll show you the final result when it's dry. So this is the final result. This wig is completely dry. I did pluck the wig, but this is how the result looks after you bleach your knots. I definitely recommend bleaching your knots because it blends into your scalp better when putting it on, and it gives you that wet lace look, and it just gives It just gives that natural look. So definitely bleach your knots. Watch this video as many times as you need to perfect your knots. Hey, I just want to close this video out. Thank you for watching. I really do hope this video helped anyone who is struggling to bleach your knots. Please pay attention to all the tips and tricks that I gave because it is really helpful. Stay tuned for my next video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and thank you for watching.